This is a Nintendo DS, and it can do more than you think. Released back in 2004, it was a groundbreaking console in the handheld gaming market, and its impact continues to be felt today. Even though the device had pretty bad hardware by modern standards, its innovative dual-screen design, touchscreen interface, and robust game library helped it become one of Nintendo's most successful and beloved handhelds. However, the true appeal for the DS does not just lie in its gaming capabilities, but also its potential for homebrew and modding, with a vibrant homebrew community that continues to thrive. The DS has evolved from a simple portable gaming device into a platform that can do so much more. Homebrew software has unlocked the full potential of the DS, allowing users to run custom apps, games, and emulators. So whatever, if you're interested in playing classic games, exploring apps, or just experimenting with homebrew projects, the DS just has everything for everyone. At the heart of this homebrew revolution is the humble flashcart, a small device that lets you load software onto your DS, providing endless opportunities for modding and customization. But before we jump into the world of homebrew, it's important to understand the hardware that makes all of this possible. The Nintendo DS features an ARM processor with a clock speed of 67 MHz, a terrible figure by today's standards, but impressive at the time of release, as it was a portable console and it needed to keep the price low. To put this into perception, the DS's processor was about 60 times more powerful than the NES, yet it was about 30% less powerful than the N64, which released a few years earlier in 1997. The DS wasn't designed to compete with home consoles like the PlayStation 2 or Xbox. It was meant to offer a unique portable experience, which is a choice word for this handheld because... But anyways, to accomplish this, Nintendo used a dual processor setup with an ARM 9 core for the primary functions like running games, and an ARM 7 core for secondary functions like audio, Wi-Fi, and backward compatibility with GBA. The dual CPU is helpful for multitasking and efficiency. One of the most innovative features of the DS was its dual screen design. The device featured two screens, with the top one being a traditional LCD display, and the bottom being a pressure-sensitive touchpad screen. The touchscreen was revolutionary at the time, and provided a new way to interact with games. While modern touchpads are normally competitive, the DS used a pressure-sensitive system, meaning you could use virtually anything to interact with it. Fingers, stylus, anything. The versatility opened up a new world of possibilities, which again is a choice word for it. But anyways, how do you mod the DS? The answer lies in a small but powerful piece of technology. The flash card. A flash card is basically a cartridge that you insert a SD card and then you just insert it into the DS, allowing you to load custom software, homebrew games, and emulators onto your device. This simple piece of hardware unlocks a whole world of possibilities. Flashcards are so cheap, around $7 for the one I have here, which is an unbranded one, but it works for what I need it for, and it's kinda hard not to buy more when they're this cheap. But anyways, when you get your flashcard, the possibilities are almost endless. You can almost run everything under the sun. Play classic games via emulators, custom made apps, anything. Flashcards open up a world of creative possibilities for us gamers alike. But let me just describe what categories of softwares we have today, which I have custom apps, custom games, and ROM hacks. And you know, a little bit of piracy, but you know, not that much. So yeah, let's get into the first piece of software we have today, which is Nitro Tracker. And it's actually pretty cool for what it is. It's a music maker tracker thing, as the software seems pretty impressive to me, but I barely know how to use it. But hey, look at this cool song I made with my sample of my voice. I think the software is cool, but it just goes over my head. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, and I have no experience with music making, but nonetheless, pretty cool. Here's an app that actually utilizes the touchpad in a good way. Colors, a drawing and painting app that uses a pressure-sensitive touchpad that lets the user to make detailed works of art. The app features a simple interface for making it pretty easy for me to understand, and the touchpad sensitivity allows for sketching, shading, and coloring, which is pretty impressive for a homebrew game. Moonshell is one of the most impressive homebrew apps for the DS, as it's a multimedia player that supports a wide range of media formats. With Moonshell you can watch videos, listen to music, view images directly on your DS. Well, the video playback is limited to the screen's resolution, but it's kinda crazy that we can even watch videos on this at all. Moonshell uses a DPG file, which is specially made for the DS, Also, here's a funny thing. For some reason there was a Scott the Was clip. I have no idea why it was in here, but it was kind of funny.
Hey y'all, Scott here. Look at this. It's my integrity. I will do anything for money. The statement still stands. Anything for money. The statement still stands. The statement still stands.
There's even Linux for the DS. Not the Linux you're probably thinking of, because this one's only the terminal, and uses a very lightweight version of Linux, which is Linux, which is a variation of the Linux kernel, which was targeted for microcontrollers. Also, this comes with some GNU apps, like games and such, which is pretty cool to be honest. It's not really meant to be used as Linux, it's just more of like a weird demo of what programmers can do. Well, the homebrew apps are pretty impressive. The real magic is from the games, and I mean there are so many homebrew games that it's kind of crazy to be honest. From classic ports to original titles, the DS community has made so much, even some of them rival the quality of official releases. Let's have a look at some of the most notable homebrew games for the DS. No homebrew scene would be complete without a port of Doom, and the DS is no exception here. The homebrew port of Doom runs very well. Well, you know, lower end hardware has played Doom before. Guess the only thing to comment on is that the controls are a little bit unconventional, with the triggers being used as strafing, but I was able to play this game very fine. The next homebrew game was just some random one I found, Mario Kart, which is basically just a very simplified version of Super Mario Maker. Well, it lacks a lot of features of the original games, basically everything. It also includes this really cool feature called a memory leak, which crashes when it runs out of memory. It's pretty cool to be honest. For the fans of the hit TV show Breaking Bad, the Breaking Bad DS fan game is an impressive piece of homebrew. The game follows Walter cooking stuff as he needs to produce as Fring requests, which is kind of just the whole story. But hey, look at the gameplay. But it actually looks like an official release, which is kind of mind-blowing as you realize that homebrew devs just don't have access to original tools and documentation. Counter-Strike is on here, and you know, it runs pretty well. CS 1.6, which is pretty neat to be honest. It comes with bomb defusal, AIs, which are kinda AIs that kinda just sit there. Also there's a multiplayer mode, which is pretty neat for a community made project. Here's the most impressive custom made game I feel like. Super Mario Galaxy DS. Just look at it. It looks like one of those fake Mario Galaxy on DS videos. But it's real, and very, very playable. Which is still a work in progress, which I could be wrong now, but I'm pretty sure it stopped development, as this build I'm playing right now is from like 2 years ago. But hey, it's still a testament to what the DS hardware could do, as this looks like an official game. It might actually be better than some official games. As well, it is using unofficial tools to create a game that rivals official games. That's kind of crazy to be honest. And of course, there are ROM hacks, which is like a mix of custom games and official games, as some concepts from the official game and some from its own thing, which some of them are actually pretty good, like newer Super Mario Bros. DS, which is a ROM hack of Mario Bros. DS, which is pretty close to the official quality of the game. Or there's a lot of Mario Kart ones, like I mean there's a lot, like a lot. Next we have emulators, and emulators are kind of crazy, as they add another range of classic systems to the DS's already massive game collection. With the first one we have Lame Boy, and Lame Boy is pretty good. It does Game Boy and Game Boy Color perfectly. Next we have NES DS, which, if you can't tell, does NES games, and it works amazingly. Unlike other emulators, GBA Runner doesn't actually emulate the games. It runs them natively on the DS, as DS has backwards compatibility with GBA cartridges. But GBA Runner lets you load them directly on the DS via the flash cart, with no compatibility issues and perfect speed. The DS just makes GBA games really good on this hardware. But here's when the emulators become a little bit harder. Emulating the NES, which is a little bit more challenging and taxing on the system's hardware, but simpler games like Super Mario World might work, and maybe Donkey Kong Country, but more complex titles like Star Fox will just not work because of the special chip. But you know, SNES DS is a great way to play these games. So with emulators, they can add another library to this already massive library of games for the DS. You can play all the handheld games made before it, like Game Boy and GBA, and you can even play some home consoles like NES and some later SNES games, which is crazy for such a small device released back in 2004. And one more thing until we get to the conclusion of this video. Backups. Backups from the flash cards are basically what these things were made for. And here's a couple of reasons why you might want to use backups. The pricing of some DS games are just a little bit expensive, like, what? I could buy 2 DS's for that money. But anyways, that kind of wraps it up for now. The DS is one of the most iconic handheld consoles in history, and its legacy continues to thrive in the world of homebrew. Despite its pretty bad hardware, the DS remains a device that can still show its strengths, capable of running custom applications, homebrew games, and emulators that expand its functionality beyond what it was originally imagined for. The DS may be old, but it still holds a special place in the hearts of goblin gamers like us. With its innovative features, impressive library of official games, and its impressive library of unofficial games, and ongoing support by the homebrew community, the DS is just a timeless classic that continues to offer so much more after its lifespan. And if you have the chance to pick one up, don't miss the opportunity to explore the wonderful world of homebrew. So yeah, that's kind of it for everything I want to talk about today. So yeah, that's it. Goodbye. If you liked this video, and watched until this, could you maybe give me a like or a sub or something? Also, here's another video I made, which I thought was pretty good too. But that's it. I'm actually out this time.